following your meeting with President Xi, neither Canada's readout or China's made mention of you bringing up things such as Uyghur detention camps or the transnational repression in Canada or Beijing's foreign interference into Canadian elections. Did you bring these issues up?
We had a discussion on foreign interference. We had a discussion on a range of other issues. Recognizing that setting it back on track, particularly on the economic side, was an important part of the discussion. So the other element of the discussion, which is something you do in a relationship as opposed to a transaction, not suggesting your question was transactional in any respect, but I'd like to distinguish how some other discussions go, is to be clear about the expectations, that we will be pragmatic, that we will be open and frank with each other on issues, and there are issues of challenge, and where we can find common ground, we'll find common ground, and where we have differences, and there are big differences in our societies, in our governments, we will respect those. We had a discussion that was, our overall discussion was constructive, it was number one, constructive. Number two, marked a turning point in the relationship. I don't think they recognize the level of concerns we have about these issues, but we manage these issues in Canada. We have a structure to manage them. And look, I'm going to repeat what I said because it's very important. It doesn't do any good to talk to ourselves about these issues alone. It's important that we are engaged with the world's largest country by population, second largest economy by value, and increasingly influential, determinant, not just influential, determinant of the global system. So we need to be back in there, and now we are back in having those discussions. And the point of having the relationship is, if you have a relationship, you see people multiple times. It's not a one and done. And that's where we are.
You told Canadians that China was the biggest security threat to this country and to Canadians. Do you still believe that to be the case?
I think we have to manage all our threats. There are a number of threats from a country mentioned, Russia. We have non-state actor threats, which are material. I guess one of the advantages of having your security clearance is you're better informed about some of the threats, and I highly recommend that anyone either in a position of responsibility or seeking it has their security clearance. So I have a richer sense of the tapestry of threats that face our country. And I'll tell you one thing, if I may, and I'll hand back after this, which is what that does, it just hardens the resolve of the government to protect Canadians and to take a variety of measures that we are taking to protect Canadians. So it reinforced the need for the big increase commitments that we made. We didn't make commitments at NATO because all the other kids were making commitments at NATO. We made commitments to increase our defense spending because we have to protect our Arctic. We have to assert our sovereignty in the Arctic and protect Canadians there because of non-state actor threats as well. Also, threats in virtual and cyber world, which are only growing. We have the ability to help protect us. We have questions about foreign interference and non-state actor interference in the virtual world in Canada, if I can put it that way. We take those threats seriously, and we're managing those. So what we got is what was not going to happen prior to this meeting was there was going to be any movement on the trade restrictions in those areas or in other areas, or in even things such as I mentioned in my remarks, people-to-people exchange or tourism. Canada is not a destination for China. We're in a bucket of 3 or 4 countries alongside North Korea and I think South Sudan. Maybe I'm missing the 4th, unfortunately, but trust me, there's 4. And so not having those areas, what this does, what the meeting accomplished, which was the objective of the meeting, was to establish that relationship at the highest level for the first time in 8 years, and to unlock a few things. One is shorter term, very important shorter term issues. You mentioned canola, same with the fishing industry. Those are important issues for us. And the instruction of officials and ministers to work on both sides to find resolution for those is something that comes out of that meeting at that level in that system, okay? don't have the meeting, don't have the understanding of where the relationship is going to go, there would not be progress on those issues. Okay? People sometimes simplify it down and give this for that. That's not the way it works. So to give Canadians a sense, and your question's absolutely the right one, so what does it mean? It means that we have a few things. One, for those hardworking farmers, fishers, a pathway to address the tariffs that China has on them, and we're going to be working hard to get those resolved and move forward. The first thing. The second thing, it opens up a much bigger set of opportunities for a broader range of Canadian businesses. Not in all areas, but in areas that are to our advantage. And that's part of what we will scope out over the course of the next few months in advance of my visit. But again, to come back to a relationship as opposed to a transaction, what you do with a relationship is then you make progress on certain things and then you move on to the next issues and you build on that. And that's what is now unlocked, which was not the case 24 hours ago.